Where do I even begin with this one? Let's do it. Yes, hello again everyone, how are you all, and hope you're all well. Welcome back, and as promised, we have the Nintendo demo unit now ready for restoration. I teased this a little bit in the Rob the Robot restoration. If you haven't seen that one already, links will be in the description down below. But yeah, this is something else. Not only is this in a sorry state, that came out of that storage unit that had been abandoned for, what, 30 plus years, but this almost didn't make it out at all. This was actually walked past for 2-3 weeks and was this close. When I say this close to being thrown away, it really was, because you see how dirty this is here. That dirt covered the whole thing. You saw the display unit. You could not read any of the writing, so you couldn't see any of this. And these windows obviously were all covered up. And it also was like this. You can see inside there as well. That is absolutely gross. But this was hanging off, just like this. So for, what, 2-3 weeks, this was walked past. And eventually they were clearing the unit to make some space, putting some stuff in the bins. And this, they thought, was either a broken video player or music equipment, because there was lots of music equipment in there. So it was picked up and it was being thrown in a bin, a head height. But the person that picked it up, and here's where the luck comes into it, the person that picked it up and turned it round, and I will put a picture now of this small Nintendo logo that was on the back. And just as it was being thrown in the bin and landed in there, he went, "Oh, that's Nintendo, I'll bring it back out." Then he wiped the front, sent me a picture, and he knew it was something good. When I don't message him back, I rang him back and say, "Save that, it's a Nintendo demo unit." So that is how close this was to being completely lost forever. It really was. It's one of those things that it's now part of its history, isn't it? Weird thing as well is I've spoke to someone who knew the shop where these came out of, and he remembers actually playing a game on this unit. And he says he thinks he remembers the R.o.b as well, but his memory's a bit hazy. That's what getting old does to you. But what are we going to do with this? Well, we're going to fix it up, obviously. But I know I am not the best person to fix this up internally. This is beyond me. I'm happy tinkering with, a Mega Drive or an NES or something like that. This is special. This is rare. So this will be sent. Stay to the end of the video to find out where this is being sent, because this is going to make an appearance on somebody else's channel. So definitely look out for that. But what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to cosmetically clean it up as best I can. Sort of clean out the inside, take out the board, just brush it down, but not anything else. And yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So let's just get on with it. Oh, I do have one question though before I start. What games do you think we should put in there at the end too? Because I'd like to do a video of just playing 12 games. What games would you put in there? And let me know as well, do you have any memories of seeing these in, shops or game shops? Or somebody said there was one in Debenhams that he remembers playing, Russian Attack. And yeah, we're just going to have a quick look around the unit now, see what condition it's in, and then we're going to get on with the actual cleaning of it, and we'll come back at the end to just see what we've got. Right, let's get on with it. Right, so here we are back. The NES Unit 8 is clean. This is as far as I'm going to take it today. I tell you what, this was a nightmare to take apart. It's almost like Nintendo didn't intend anyone to strip this down and clean it. Yes, not just how they've constructed it as well, but the way the bolts are, the way they've rusted and everything else. There's some bolts on the back that I have not been able to get off. But as I said, this is going to someone else to do the rest of the restoration, because my job today was not to fix this up. It was just to make it so the next person can actually handle it without, catching any illness or, stuff from the bird poop. Because that's what was on here. I forgot to mention at the beginning. If you haven't followed my journey with the other stuff I found, these were found in a storage unit that had been abandoned for years. And the roof had caved in, the pigeons had got in, and the pigeons had covered everything, as you could tell. So yeah, my job was to just make this look presentable for the next person that's going to get this. And I'll tell you who that is going to be at the end. This, you top here, you can see some marks and dents and scratches on it. This obviously used to have a TV on top of it, so it suffered some damage from that. But not just that as well, is the quality of the actual paint job on this is not a high standard. It really isn't. There's parts of this where you can see paint has been dripping off and everything else. These were made to be abused, so they're not a finished product. They were just in a shop. Here's your games, select your games. Oh, that's another thing as well. Let's have a look at this front panel here, because I did unscrew this. You watch, I won't be able to get this off now if I've got the camera running. There we are. This, as you remember, was absolutely covered, but I took out the button, and as you can see in here, look how rough that looks. It's like the hole wasn't quite big enough, and someone has just taken some kind of file or tool or something like that and just hacked away, or a knife. Actually, looking at it now, that was definitely a knife, because I thought from the back, that was a notch that I had to line up to get the thing out, but it's not. That's just where it's been hacked away to make it big, and it was really difficult to get the button out. It was in there. So yeah, clearly when they made that, and the button they were using was just not, I thought it wasn't big enough. So in the factory, grab a knife, made it bigger. It wasn't a collectible. Back then it wasn't. This isn't something that somebody was going to have in their collection years down the line. This was made purely to get the games into shops so people can see them, so they bought more actual NES units and games themselves. These windows have come up quite nice as well. Let's see, take that out, because that comes off. There is a bit of a peeling up here that was already there, but I reckon a little bit of glue that'll go down nicely. Also bits of construction which never thought of. I can't take this cable out because the hole was made to put it through, and then they've glued the glass over the top, and I would rather leave that in there than try and take out the actual cable. So yeah, everything is sort of like just folded aluminium. Is it aluminum if you're in America? Say it the correct way over here. Yeah, sorry, I had to get that in there. Yeah, this has come up really quite nicely. This has, so nothing's finished yet. As I said, there's still marks and stuff on it, because I'm not going for the high finish yet, because this is still going to need a lot of work put on it. So why make it look perfect when it's going to need to be cleaned down properly at the end anyway? So yeah, that's that. And the actual top as well. Let's move this forward a bit. Yeah, not too bad. As I said, scratches and a few scuff marks and stuff, as you can imagine if it's had a TV on top of it. And if we slide it back as well, there's nothing inside. And there's a reason why there's nothing inside. That is because the person who is, excuse that sound, the person who is getting this, let's at least make this look like it's back together, has asked for me to not clean the boards. I can never remember which way around this goes. Is it in or out? There, just like that. And we'll put that back on there. That, to be honest, that was the thing I was worried about getting apart, because the way that the screws were and everything, I was so worried that I wasn't going to get this apart. And it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws on it that were really rusty, and do you know what, they were good to me. They really were. Yeah, so let's have a look at the boards. This is your main board as well, and as I said, I've been asked to leave all the dirt on, and I'll explain why at the end. And there is your Nintendo logo, 1987, RS54003 revision F. And if that means anything to you, it doesn't mean anything to me. Apart from what revision the board is, and it's Nintendo. So I guess it does mean something to me. We've got some EPROMs on here as well. As I said, not going to be touching them, and all the dirt for the next person to fix this up. Now, I was about to put that on top of there then, and realised all of the scratches that would happen if I'd have done that. So let's put a T-tail down. Let's save ourselves embarrassment and video destroying something I'm trying to fix. There we go. So that's that on there. Then we have the front display panel. That is here, and it's also Nintendo branded as well, which I think is really nice. And yeah, that's fully working. Oh, I don't know if it's fully working actually. Might not be. Why did I say fully working? It's fully over there. Let's put them down here like this. There you go. It can sit in there. And we've got the front panel here, and now again this one really quite manky because it was right at the front. But this is your player 1, player 2. Obviously, if you were playing with the what's the 4-player controller adapter thing for it? Let me know in comments. What's that? The 4-player anyway, so you can do the 4 controllers, and then the 5th one over here. That's obviously going to be for the gun. So I'll put that there. This one was a bit of an odd one. This was an expansion port at the back. Now, does anybody know what that expansion port was for? And if not, hopefully in the next video we can find out, and whether it can actually be used for anything. Now, do you know when you have your pins for the NES and your pins have gone and you've got to change them and everything else? Imagine having this many of them going onto 3 pin headers going onto your PCB. As you can see, that's where they all attach there on the front. So yeah, that's a lot of pins. So hopefully as well, it doesn't have the mechanism where it pushes it down. So fingers crossed they'll give that a once over, and that will actually be really nice as well, and hopefully working. PSU. Now this is how I know there's an issue, because we have the PSU here, which was internal, but you can see this here, this capacitor here has definitely blown. But that's quite a common one, I've been told. Quite a common fault for a lot of old PSUs of this time. So yeah, that went up in smoke at some point. Probably why it ended up in a storage unit. You know, can you imagine if the PSU just had one capacitor pop on it? And that's it. The demo unit's dead. And what else we got? These are the rails as well, which hold all the cartridges in. So they'll be going back in. And this bracket as well over the top here just holds the whole thing together. So again, aluminium, and that's pretty much it. So yes, where is this heading off to? This is heading off to the lab at the Retro Collective over at RMC, Retro Man Cave. Getting my words out. You obviously know who RMC is, but if you don't, I will put a link down in the description below to his channel. Go and check him out, and also look out for the video from this, because the new lab that's been opened is part of the RMC cave. That's why it's the Retro Collective. Also is Arcade Archive there as well, link down below. And that's where this is going. So we're going to be doing he's going to be restoring all this, because this is completely out of my comfort zone. It really is. This is not something I would be even willing to tinker with. I have stripped it down and I have cleaned the poop off it. That's as far as it goes for me. Looking forward to seeing what those guys can do with it, because they've got a lot more knowledge than I have, and yeah, it's in the right hands, definitely in the right hands. Before we go though, I did forget to say there's a switch on the back. I'll put a picture in here, and you can see there 30 seconds. You can dial this down to 30 seconds. Imagine queuing as a kid to play this game. And you go through the menu, you pick the game, you know the one you want to play, and you get 30 seconds. How mean do the shop owner have to be to put 30 seconds on it? Yeah, that's quite funny. Right, anyway, enough of waffling for now. Look out for the videos to come, and yeah, I'll see you all again next time. Bye.